Alright, time to look at capacity. What is it? It is the amount that something can hold. So it can refer to solid objects, it can refer to things like stadiums. It is the maximum amount or number that can be contained in that container. And everyone has different views about certain things. Like I would say that what they call a tuk-tuk is probably at overcapacity, too much on it, as is the train. Whereas in Australia, we would probably look at the capacity of a train being something very different. It can be used in general to say about something like he has worked to capacity, meaning that the person has worked as much as they could. What does capacity measure? Well, it actually measures the liquid or the gas that the volume of a particular structure holds. So the volume is how big the container is, but the capacity is actually how much it can hold. Now, what units do we use mathematically to measure capacity? Well, we use milliliters for small amounts. And you can see we have the small letter m here for milliliters. We use litres for slightly larger amounts. For something like a pool, we would use kiloliters, which is thousands of litres. And then when you're looking at something really big, we would use megaliters. So a megaliter is actually 1 million litres. And to give us an idea of how big that is, I suppose the City of Melbourne's main water storage, a particular dam called the Thomson Dam, has a capacity of 1.07 million megalitres. So that is equivalent to 2 times what's in Sydney Harbour, or 628 times Melbourne's cricket ground, or 427,000 Olympic pools. Or we can look at this here. Too big a number. So it's really, really big. So megalitres are quite big. We need to be able to remember what the measurements are, but we also need to convert between them. You can use this idea to help you in terms of if I'm going from megalitres to kilolitres, I would be timesing by 1,000. But if I was going back the other way from kilolitres to megalitres, I would divide by 1,000. So they're all in different groups of 1,000. Litre is our base unit, and everything else relates to it. So it's all got a prefix in relation to the litre. If I was asked to convert 32 megalitres into litres, see how from megalitres I'm jumping over 2 kind of measurement units into litres, so I need to multiply by 1,000 2 times. So by doing that, I would get 32 million litres are in 32 megalitres. So when we're dealing with, say, a cylindrical can of Coca-Cola, it has a volume of 375 centimetres cubed, but it's actually labelled in millilitres because it's talking about a measurement of liquid. So for every 1,000 centimetres cubed, we have 1 litre. Or basically, every 1 centimetre cube is worth 1 millilitre in terms of liquid. You need to learn these conversions off by heart. So let's look at an example. If we have a refrigerator that has internal dimensions as given here, then we can work out what we refer to as the capacity of the refrigerator. When you are going to buy a fridge, they're all labelled in terms of their capacity. Now, its internal volume, so first of all, the volume would just be multiplying these 3 dimensions together, because it's a rectangular prism, and you get the 761,600 centimetres cubed. To change that into milliliters, we need to know how every 1 centimeter cubed is worth 1 milliliter. So it's just a straight conversion from centimeters cubed into milliliters, because they are talking about the same amount. To change that into liters, we need to divide it by 1,000, because there's 1,000 milliliters in every liter, milli meaning 1,000th. And so you would say the capacity of that fridge is 761.6 litres. And of course, when they're selling fridges like that, they would round that off and say it has a capacity of 760 litres. So lots of people use all different kinds of measurements to do with the units that we were talking about, such as the examples that are given there.